Today we're going to be comparing the two new weapons that have recently been added to Hypixel Skyblock in the Berserk update. Those two weapons are the Bone Reaver and the Felthorn Reaper. The Felthorn Reaper is a direct upgrade from the Bone Reaver. Today we're going to compare the two weapons and see if it's worth upgrading. The Bone Reaver's crafting recipe is 20 enchanted bone blocks, 5 spirit bones, and also a spirit sword. The spirit sword is dropped from floor 4, the spirit bones are dropped from floor 4, and the enchanted bone blocks are obviously obtainable through bones and then basically compressing them. So if we buy all of the materials instantly, it's going to cost us around about 47.8 mil. The lowest bid on the AH is 49 mil. And if we actually put buy orders up, it would actually only cost us 42.6 mil, which means if you have the patience, you could also flip this weapon. Anyway, that's besides the point. I'm just going to craft one. So we have all the items needed to craft it. And there we go. Bone Reaver. This is going to give us a base damage of plus 235, plus 90 strength, and also plus 0.5 swing range. Now it's time to upgrade it. Okay, so we did a little bit of, you know, here and there. I forgot the hot potato books, but we will put those on. Yeah, we I guess probably did this weapon justice. Let's see. Yeah, this should be good. We're going to go ahead and test our Bone Reaver and see how it fares, and then we're also going to then upgrade it into the Felthorn Reaper and then see how much better it really is. So with Crimson Armor and a level 200 G-Drag, we're going to be dealing around about 550k to the regular hub zombies, which isn't really too bad at all. I mean, in comparison to other weapons, it's relatively cheap, so yeah, not really too bad at all. Yeah, can't really complain. And yeah, it can hold its own, I guess, against higher health mobs. Although, realistically, if you get this weapon especially, it's going to be for Berserk within dungeons, so let's go ahead and give it a test. But before we go any further, make sure to use code NITROS if you are purchasing anything from the Hypixel store. It gets yourself 5% off. Also, you should subscribe to the channel, it really does help out a lot. And you should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. Now, of course, even though this only does have plus 0.5 swing range, it's still pretty good in terms of swing range, because of course the Berserk gives you the passive perk anyway, which just increases swing range, which is pretty cool. Anyway, within dungeons, we're dealing around about, what are we saying, between 13 million? Okay, let's see if we can get any more consistent damage. And again, 13 million, 13. It looks to be 12 to 13 million, which isn't too bad at all. Really not too shabby. Of course, this weapon does have the right-click ability, which is slashing a huge arc, dealing 125% melee damage to all enemies hit. And then obviously you charge it up just like you do with the Felthorn. Like I said before, this weapon is literally just the protege to the Felthorn, and it's very, very, very similar. Just slightly not as strong. Of course, the right-click ability is still ridiculously strong. But yeah, this weapon is definitely very good. I'll talk about what I think the main problem is with these two weapons later in the video, but if you're something like Iron Man, then this is huge if you're able to get this, especially for progression. Now, of course, it must be said that realistically, if you're around about the stage of the game where you're using this weapon, then you're probably not going to deal as much damage as I do, because realistically, if I was to actually play dungeons as Berserk on this profile, I'd probably be going for something like a Claymore, or at least a Felthorn. Let's see how easily we can take out this Frozen Blaze here, this Frozen Adventurer. Very, very easily. But once again, like I said, I don't know, it might not be completely representative, but the idea is more just to compare the two weapons, and we'll take a look at the Felthorn in just a moment. Okay, let's see how this weapon fares against the golems. Not too badly at all. Maybe 3 or 4 hits. Isn't the end of the world, really. Yeah, not too shabby. Now against the terracottas. Make sure to get that right-click ability in there as well. Here we go. Okay, okay, all right, okay. Common Hypixel server issue. Okay. To be honest, that's not really too bad. It wasn't really that quick, but at the same time, it definitely got the job done. Of course, make sure that you do get Siphon on your weapon, because it really does help. Now it's time to upgrade this weapon. So we're going to need 5 Fell Roses, and we're also going to need 1 Fell Skull. The Fell Skull is going to set us back around about 5.7 million coins, and each Fell Rose is going to be about 1.5 million. Of course, we need 5 of these. So it's going to cost us around about 14 million coins to upgrade the Bone Reaver to the Felthorn Reaver. I always get Reaver and Reaper mixed up. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Anyway, we can just craft it together just like this and everything transfers over, which is very nice. Now we have a Felthorn Reaper and we now must try this. Okay, so our Bone Reaper was dealing 550k and our Felthorn Reaver is dealing about 657. Could you please stop my kills? So it deals, I mean, for me it's dealing about 107k more damage. Let's call it like 110. Which isn't too bad at all. I mean, for 14 million coins, it's kind of a no-brainer to upgrade it. Now, if we actually go ahead and buy 8 Bigfoot's Lasso, we can actually essentially frag this to make it even better. And there we go. Lovely, some nice buffs. So with the Felthorn Reaper at base, you get plus 285 damage, plus 10 strength, plus 125% crit damage, and also plus 1.5 swing range. Anyway, now that we've gone ahead and fragged the weapon, we can now test our damage again, which has now increased to almost 700 mil. Well, imagine if it was 700 mil, 700k. Nice, nice rolls. You are able to read numbers. Just shut up. But fragging it has actually made quite a nice difference. We're now dealing 140k more damage than the Bone Reaver. So yeah, time to go to dungeons. Okay, so we can now test our damage. 16 million, 17 million, 16 million. Then when we compare this to the Bone Reaver, we were dealing 12 to 13, and now we're dealing 16 to 17. So yeah, really quite a nice upgrade. Especially for around about 14.5 million, it really is a no-brainer. Our right-click ability 2 has been upped from 125% melee damage to 135%. And yeah, I mean, honestly, for somebody who can kill the mobs anyway, it doesn't make a huge difference. But for somebody who may be struggling and needs that extra damage, it's a very, very welcome upgrade. Whether it's worth upgrading, I think, is completely dependent on your situation, where you're up to in the game, if you play Iron Man or not. Yeah, there's probably quite a lot to think about. Now, the plus to this weapon is the you have plus 1.5 swing range, rather than plus 0.5 swing range, which means that you can now kill mobs from an extra block away, which is really nice, meaning you don't have to get as close to mobs as you would have, basically meaning that your survivability is much better. Now, we do actually deal a ton of damage with the right-click ability as well, like, look at that. We're on about 24 to 25 million, which is crazy. It still just feels absurd being able to hit mobs from so far away. It really does. Oh my god. Don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what. Anyway, yeah, this weapon's good. Also, I don't recommend upgrading your own. That was a terrible waste of money. You should really just buy one fully upgraded, because it's way cheaper. Probably it's only a 5 that's put me out so many coins. I think I lost about 40 million or something like that. I'm sure I was on maybe like 370. I don't know. I've lost a lot of coins, but yeah, definitely buy a fully upgraded one. Don't upgrade one yourself. Obviously, unless you're Iron Man, and then the coins don't really matter. So it doesn't matter. Now, here's what I think is the most logical conclusion. If you're Iron Man, depending on how easy you're finding it to get the materials to upgrade it, you might just be better off sticking with what you've got for the time being, considering, yes, there is a difference, and the Felthorn is better. It does more damage, and that's it. Other than that, it's exactly the same weapon. It's just slightly buffed. Now, if you're someone who isn't on Iron Man and has 15 million coins to spare, then it's definitely worth upgrading it, considering there's quite a big difference in terms of damage if it's just down to the pure 15 million coins you have to spend. In all honesty, if you can just afford a Bone Reaver, then just use a Bone Reaver, because it is still pretty good. And yeah, not bad for the price either. It's around 50 to 60 million. You could get something probably similar damaging, but the other perks like the right-click ability, which is crazy, and also the extra swing range, really isn't a bad option. But anyway, I think that will just about bring an end to today's video. I hope you all have enjoyed. If you have, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.